In Luke chapter 6, verse 39, says, "And he also spoke a parable to them. A blind man cannot guide a blind man, can he? Will they not both fall into a pit? A pupil is not above his teacher, but everyone, after he has been fully trained, will be like a teacher. And why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Brother, let me take out the speck that is in your eye,' when you yourself do not see the log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take out the speck that's in your brother's eye." Many of you know that I'm a Christian life coach. Often the people coming to me to coach through some relationship issues feel trapped, as if they can't do anything about the other person. I learned several years ago to give the people closest to me in my life permission to share with me how I can be better. For example, several years ago in a conversation with my son, I told him I was taking my mom hat off and I was putting on friend hat. That as his friend, he could open up and talk to me without consequence and say anything he needed to say, even if it was about his mom. He opened up and began to share how one thing that I thought was harmless in my approach to try to get him to do the right thing in a situation, or what I deemed to be the right thing, was actually making him feel horrible. And I didn't have a clue that I was doing that to him. But when I heard it, not from a mom perspective, but from a friend perspective, I completely got what he meant. Then I asked his permission if I could respond as mom. And he braced himself because he thought I was about to defend myself. All I did was tell him he was 100% right. I thanked him for pointing it out. And I told him how sorry that I was for ever making him feel that way. And from that day forward, it wouldn't happen again. That was me having to remove the log from my eye instead of going after a speck in his eye. See, most of the time when people are coming to coach, their issue is with this person that they're in the relationship with. You can't make people do what they should do or be how they should be or how you think they should. The only thing that you have ultimate control over is your part. There was a time where I could not change situations with coworkers. I couldn't change the situation that I was in at work. I could not, for the first time, run away from the job that I had. I had to stay there. I came home one day and I said, "God, I can't change this situation and I can't run. So if I've got to stick with it, will you change me? Will you change how I feel about it so I can get up and face it every day?" And boy, did he ever, because the one thing that I thought I wanted to run from actually ended up being a dream fulfilled. When you can start allowing yourself to open your eyes and focus on you, how can you be a better version of you today? What is your part in it? Have you even asked the other person how they feel, or how your actions or words might be affecting them, so that you can look for ways you can change? You're probably going to stay miserable because you can't make people do and be what you want them to do and be. But you can bring the best version of you to the table, and oftentimes that's not the version that you see. But until you've heard them out without judgment, taking constructive criticism, testing it to see if there's some accuracy to it, and making the changes, you don't really know if you're bringing the best version of you or not. In your own eyes, you are. But we're blind to our own actions so often that we don't have a clue how our words and actions are affecting someone else. So before we go looking at how they're failing us, we need to see how are we failing them. Fix that first. And then watch the relationship change. Oftentimes, the change you're looking for is not ever going to come from their change, but it's going to come from yours. It's the catalyst. It's the catalyst to jumpstart everything that you're asking for.